If you feel a tight knot in your chest just at the idea of saying no, or if you feel very guilty at the thought of setting a boundary, you're not selfish for wanting that. You were simply taught that your needs don't matter. Today, we're going to change that. You've been taught your whole life that being nice is a virtue, that being agreeable and kind and easygoing is exactly how you should be, that being selfless makes you a good woman. If you've ever felt proud of being that nice girl, you're also secretly resentful, exhausted, and feeling invisible. If you're constantly putting others first, avoiding conflict, and feeling like you're disappearing in your own life, this video is for you. First, I'll tell you what people pleasing is, why you're feeling guilty saying no, showing you the true contrast between people pleasing and the intent when it comes from a true sense of kindness, the cost of people pleasing, putting others first, and what that's doing to your health, and finally, how to heal that guilt and reclaim that radiance. Welcome to Devoted to Extraordinary, where today is the first, last, only, and best day of our entire lives. My name is Julia. I am a woman's vitality and virtue coach. So if you also want to be the best version of you, subscribe to join. If you prefer seeing this in a written format, I share that on my Substack, which is the newsletter link below. When I speak of people pleasing, this comes from first-hand experience. I was brought up being that nice girl that everybody just thought, oh, she's really sweet. But it's not serving anybody to be that way. People pleasing comes from the idea that by saying yes to everything and by avoiding conflict and by always putting others first, you're doing the right thing. But have you ever wondered what's going on underneath that? What actually drives that motivation? It's fear, not a fear of being seen, like I first thought it was, but rather a fear of what would happen if I am seen. Would I be rejected? Would I no longer belong? Would I be abandoned? Or worse, would I be seen as difficult or the villain? So you see, it looks like kindness on the outside, but really, although you're smiling, you feel like you want to cry. You say yes, but you're overriding that your body is screaming no. You offer more help even when you are completely drained. And you try to keep the peace no matter what it takes, even if that is betraying yourself. Here's 3 reasons why you feel guilty saying no. First, you were conditioned to please to feel safety or love. Come at this with the most self-compassion you can because you did not know any different, and neither did your parents. When you were brought up as a sensitive child, you pick up on everything around you emotionally, psychically. And you may have learned that being good equals being accepted. So you learned to perform for validation or attention. Love felt conditional. You learned to shrink and to instead prioritize others as a way to feel safe and accepted. Because if they accepted you, you were worthy. Saying no or not performing may have resulted in withdrawal, rejection, or punishment. This is survival mode, not individuality or sovereignty or appreciation of a child as a whole person. Those beliefs may have saved you then, but they're limiting now because you want to claim life for all the radiance it brings. So it's time to rewrite the story. The second reason why you may feel guilty saying no is you fear being perceived as selfish, rude, or unlovable. This is because your identity got entangled with being the nice one, the good one, the one who will do a certain way that is expected. But the root of your guilt isn't about the no, it's about the fear of disconnection. I recently filmed a video of how the near enemy of connection is control. You should check it out. And the third reason why you feel guilty for saying no is that guilt is a false alarm. Your nervous system is still wired to think that no equals danger. But that guilt is not proof that you're doing something wrong. It's proof that you're actually shifting your patterns. So now I'm going to contrast true kindness versus the intention of people pleasing, and that being your drive. We know that what empowers us is to be able to own every single part of our environment. Instead of being guilty and feeling shame and being a victim of our circumstances, we want to be able to own our circumstances. When you disconnect from your authentic self, you abandon your divine feminine core, your intuition, your boundaries, and your radiance, who you are and what you stand for. When you're people pleasing, you're driven by this fear of rejection. Whereas when you're rooted in true kindness, love and integrity is what motivates you. Therefore, you're no longer doing out of lack, but out of abundance. People pleasing overextends and self abandons, which means we're doing far too much far too often without meeting our own needs at all. Whereas true kindness honors self and other. It finds a way that you can find your own identity and your own fulfillment through doing the thing that helps somebody else. While people pleasing seeks validation in that external story and in that mirroring of that relationship, True kindness comes from wholeness, knowing that your integrity, your perfection, your completeness exists with or without that reflection. So, true kindness doesn't come from needing approval, it comes from inner alignment and having your values straightened out and acting from them every time. As for the cost of people pleasing, we know that it drains us and that we can feel the most exhausted when we keep doing and peddling for others without any real motivation to create for ourselves. Our life force energy is being drained when we stay stuck here, and we actually become more susceptible to colds and illness. Many women I coach come to me with skin flare ups, thyroid issues, anxiety, insomnia, digestive issues, chronic pain, and all of it actually stems from a moment of self abandonment, what is called a conflict. German New Medicine, or the sacred medicine, points out like a map or even a dictionary to the parts of us that we aren't owning. This is how our symptoms are the messengers. When you stay in people pleasing mode for too long, you lose yourself. You lack your identity because your drive isn't about who you are and what you want. So you feel resentful and emotionally tired and disconnected. And when you override your no and say yes instead, your body keeps the score. At the foundation of German New Medicine are the 5 biological laws, the first of which says that there is a conflict first and a symptom second. So once we are expressing symptoms, we have already had the click, the moment of resolution, after a phase of conflict activity. If you want to listen to this in even more detail, have a look at the podcast link below. When you have stored up chronic resentment, emotional exhaustion, all stemming from inauthentic relationships, and identity confusion, you will have physical symptoms. I'm available for one-to-one vitality calls now, and I'm so glad to be able to guide you through to what your body is trying to express, because there's always a resolution there, an understanding to be had as to why you're experiencing these things. It really comes down to the meaning you're assigning to the circumstance or the relationship. There is so much power in meeting your own needs. We're not talking about a selfishness, but rather the capacity to feel fulfilled through your actions of helping others. Our culture creates a lot of meaning around shoulds. I should be here at this stage in my life. When I do this, then I will be happy, but I haven't done this, therefore I must. And there's so much attachment and narrative around the guilt and the shame that arises in our lives. So we're telling a story without even perhaps intending to. But what I love is that we have control over the pen. We become the questions we consider. So, what you want to ask is what you will find evidence for in your life. If you have any blind spots, again, that's what I'm here for, and that's what I would book a call with another German New Medicine practitioner for too. True distinction from people pleasing and actual kindness comes from recognizing the truth. If you're in pain in any way, you've most likely heard the truth and you know what it is deep inside your soul. You just need some help digging it out and accepting it, embracing it, and really integrating it so you can find that peace that's already there for you. It's time to give without guilt and say no without shame. You don't owe anyone your silence, your time, or your energy, especially when it costs you your peace. So, how to heal the guilt? The first thing to do to heal the guilt of saying no is to start with internal permission. It's okay to disappoint others. It's not okay to abandon myself. Repeating this can only slowly rewire your inner response into an openness to perhaps being the villain in somebody else's story if it means being the hero of your own. It's okay to disappoint others. It's not okay to abandon myself. Also, change the focus. Make the target not being the best girl, the good girl, the nice girl, the one who meets everyone's expectations, but rather to being the honest girl. It's safe for me to be honest. I'm still lovable. Would you rather be somebody who doesn't make waves or the person who surfs them? The second thing to do to heal the guilt is to reframe no as an act of love. Every single no protects your energy, your peace, and your integrity. Ultimately, when you say no to what drains you, you're saying yes to what sustains you. Say you're in a relationship with somebody that you didn't actually fully want to be with. Now you're not single when the man of your dreams comes along. The third way to heal the guilt is to practice low stakes boundaries. You're basically building a new muscle. Try saying no to small things at first where you're not really letting anybody down. Try changing dinner plans or skipping a call or asking for space. Don't put politeness ahead of preference. Say you bump into a mutual friend in the street, and you think that at the end of the conversation, you have to say, "We should do something sometime. We should meet up." Would you really dare say that if you'd have to follow through? Try not saying it. Could it be that awkward? Nice seeing you. Have a lovely day. Also, pausing is essential. Try pausing before saying yes to plans or responding quickly. Just pause. Ask yourself, is this coming from a place of fear or from a place of love? Do I want to do this? And then feel free to say whatever you'd like, even if you need to change your immediate response to, "Give me a second to have a look at this," or "Let me check my schedule." Give yourself the time you need to feel the safety that you already have. The fourth way to heal that guilt around saying no is to use nervous system tools. After saying no, you can speak to yourself like you would your inner child. If you, when you were a child, were right by you, what would you say to her? "Well done, we stood up for ourselves. That was really good. Congratulations. You're becoming who you've always wanted to be." You can say little encouraging things like this every time to feel like a reward and to start changing that mindset around feeling like no is a bad thing. Two other tools I use often is breath work, which I do whenever I feel overwhelmed. And actually, often I'll just deeply breathe and then sigh, deeply breathe, sigh until there is no longer a sound coming out with the sigh. That releases overwhelm incredibly well. And then there's always EFT tapping, which you can have a Google of and use the affirmations that I told you earlier about as you tap. Really, the goal of this exercise is to let yourself feel the guilt without letting it mean anything about you. This is the goal of the whole video, actually, to become the person who doesn't immediately attach the thing that just occurred with who you are. Create some space between external reality and inner identity. A great prompt you can also journal about is, what am I afraid will happen if I say no? Now, here's a little reminder to sign up to the newsletter where I'm going to be announcing the Goodbye Good Girl course that's coming out soon. Reclaiming your radiance is knowing that your no is sacred. Because when you say no, it actually benefits everyone around you. They understand that you're valuable, that they need to appreciate you when you're there, that you're not just a given. So over time, your guilt turns into confidence. Have a look at my confidence video, it's fantastic. The more you honor your needs, the more radiant, magnetic, and at peace you become, and the more you raise the standards with which others treat you too. You do not have to explain, justify, or apologize for protecting your peace. We know you're most likely doing it kindly anyway. If this resonated, know that you're not alone. There are so many of us women who grew up to be nice girls and we're only now beginning to claim what is ours and has always been. To own your center is a powerful place to be. To get all the tips that I shared in this video straight into your inbox, sign up to the newsletter below. And if you felt seen today, drop a comment below. I love to hear your stories. They're my love language and I always respond. Share this with a friend also. And until next week, harden not your hearts, love and serve each other.